right, so I'm super excited because I get to do this real quick interview with Miss Portia, who is an amazing, amazing brand strategist and helping her clients step into their next level brands. And one thing that I really love about Portia, we actually got to do two different intensives,
Hmm.
one like years ago and then one now. So it's really cool just to kind of talk about your overall experience. And what we'll do is first start out with just why did you book your more recent intensive?
Okay. Well, first off, when I initially found out about you, you kind of popped up. Like I saw an ad of yours. This was 3 years ago. I saw an ad. And I remember when I first spoke with you, I was like, you're speaking my language. Like everything you said, I felt you were speaking directly to me at that time. So now, having had that experience with you in the past, having it being such a powerful connection to begin with, I'm all about like connections and impressions. Like you made a great impression on me even at that time. I was new in business. So having, just really trying to learn about business and social media and, getting my message out there, like you helped me and really creating that foundation that I was looking for at the time. So, I mean, it was a no-brainer this time around. I'm 3 years in, I've grown, I've had, more clients come into my business. I've, really been, boots on the ground, like working in my business and learning more about myself as well as my clients, as well as like the experience I create for my clients. So I knew it was time to like level up the messaging. I
Yeah.
knew it was time to go deeper and just put out more powerful messaging around what it is that I do. So coming back to you after that first time, it was a no-brainer. Like there are so many women out here who are doing something similar as you, but when it comes to, this lane, this field, this messaging space, I'm gonna always come back to you because you just get it every time. Like
Julia
every
just
time.
agreed.
It's
He
just
just shook.
the clarity that I have, when I work with you, the connection also, just, you, like your personality and just the warmth that I get from you as well. It's just, it really goes far when it comes time to, spend money and invest in my business. So,
Oh, thank you. You said so many good things. So first off, thank you for trusting in me and feeling, my energy and my vibe. And one thing I always say for clients is when we're touching your message, like it's very important that you have someone who can tap into your vision with you to help you articulate your message. I don't have to have your vision 100%, right? If I've done these
right.
intensives with hundreds of women, so there's no way I can have everybody's vision, but to be able to have someone who's able to just step into your vision with you to be able to articulate that, right? And to
Yes.
feel them and that they can feel it is really important. But you said a couple of things. So first off, I just want to say you are literally the epitome. If anyone has had my next level message workbook, it's completely free. I talk about 3 different phases of messaging, and you are literally the epitome of two. So the first phase, and I'll go through it really quick, is discovering. I'm newer in business. I'm discovering what my message is, who my client is, what am I offering? What is it that I do? I know what I do, but like, what do I do again? Right. And then going
Right.
into this second space where it's like, okay, I've been in business 1, 2, 3, 5 years. I've been in business for a couple years. I've worked with clients. Like you said, I've grown, I've expanded, I've evolved. I'm ready to tap into this deeper part of my message, which the second phase is deepening your message. So you go from discovering your message to deepening your message. And then phase 3 is dominating your message. Like my multiple 6, 7 figure earners are usually in that space. And so I'm just so proud of you, like to
I'm
literally
coming
watch
for it.
you. You coming, you're already there. You're already there. Like we're gonna be doing this. This is gonna be a round 2, right? Of this conversation. But it's just been so beautiful just to watch you go from discovering to deepening and to, realize that you get to give yourself permission to say the next level of what you want to say and also to work with the next level of client that you want to work with. And a lot of times when women come to me, they're like, Kara, but I've worked with this person and I'm afraid to like let that person go, or like I don't want to leave them behind, or I used to say this and now I really want to say this, but people know me for this. How do I shift from that? And so there's so many questions when it steps into that deepening space. And it's so beautiful to work with so many women who are in that space where it's like, I want to deepen my message because it's what is true to me. It's what feels right to me.
Right.
And understanding that is what's going to call in your aligned clients. So I want to
Yes.
ask you something. So as you have grown in your messaging, you didn't come to me because it's like, here, I don't like this second time, right? I don't know my message. I know my message, Kiera. I've worked with clients. I have a framework. I have a bomb, brand, all the things. I'm coming in because, so like, talk to me about that. It wasn't because you didn't know your message this time around. It was more so, like you said, you wanted to get deeper. But I'd love for you to kind of explain for women that might be watching that feel the same. How did you know that it was time for you to go deeper in your message or step into that next level of your message and not stick with the one that you had for the first 3 years? Not that that was bad.
Right. It kind of goes back to what you were saying when you said, you're ready for that next level of clients. I had been working with certain women in the past, and they were aligned at that time, but I kind of, in growing and evolving myself in business, realized, hey, I'm doing much deeper, much more powerful work than I was before, or at least I now know that I am. It's now apparent to me that I am. So now I want to tap into this type of woman, how I can help this woman that fits where I am in my journey, in my business and my brand. I've evolved. I want to work with women who are in their evolution, who are, seeking their next level as well. So kind of just making sure that I'm not only aligned with, my messaging, but also the women that I work with as well. And I knew that, that next level messaging would help me reach those women.
Yeah, I love that. So really, you knew internally for you, like, I am feeling this push and this call and this, I don't want to say push, I'm gonna say invitation. I'm feeling this invitation
Yeah.
to step in deeper. So an internal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And trusting yourself. That's the next thing, is being able to trust yourself, that because a lot of women will tell me, I feel that calling here, but I'm not ready. And that's okay, right? Let me know when you're ready. Or if you want support in getting ready, because sometimes you got to show before you're ready, right? All the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like being able to trust yourself. One other thing that I wanted to ask you is, when you think about your experience and your actual intensive, you actually I think you made a post the day after, or maybe a couple of hours after our
It was
intensive.
like an hour after.
Oh, an
Probably
hour,
not even
girl.
an
Okay.
hour.
It took me a minute because, after my intensive, I go rest, but it took me a minute. So I seen it like the same day or something like that, a little bit later after intensive. And I should have read exactly what it said, but it was something like about sales and messaging. And one thing I want to ask you is, because a lot of people will do just messaging. Like, what am I saying? Right. I feel like for me and for my process, I uniquely bring sales. I have 13 plus years of corporate sales background. So I'm always attaching sales. I don't want you to have pretty words that just sound good. If
Hey,
it
you
don't
want
bring in
them
money, if it don't bring in clients, it
right,
don't mean anything. So I want you to talk about, because the post you put was like,
right.
don't go to anybody else for messaging and sales, but I want you to talk about how you feel about how I combine sales and messaging together, that bring in that sales, like client attraction, client conversion element versus, because sometimes people do messaging, but it's just words and they don't correlate. I
Right.
believe the money's in the message. It has to correlate back to how are you getting people in. So I'd love for you to just to kind of talk about that in your posts and everything like that when it comes to sales.
Yeah, I mean, you see people all the time. I think a lot of people get so lost in, oh, I'm showing up, I'm creating content, but they're not coming.
Mm.
You, so working with you, it's not only, we're like you said, we're not only creating the words, it's also not even pushing, because we're not pushing, we're inviting them to take action as well. So creating, words that they feel like they align, they feel deeply like, wait a minute. And also it kind of goes back to, a lot of people focus on surface level stuff, but going deeper into what are they feeling, what are they thinking, like what are they experiencing, and inviting them to experience that next level thing that they're working towards. Working with you all the time, always, like, it helps me tap into that. It helps me tap into that vision of not only where I'm trying to go, but where my clients are trying to go. And it just, like I said, it's not only the words, but also putting action behind it. So we create that. And, the sales, that's where the sales piece comes in. It's not just, okay, content. It's content that's going to convert.
Yeah. You just said a couple of things. You talked about not just creating words, right? But content that actually converts. So what I think about is like people who are like, I got this likes, I got this many like shares and all this. And I always tell people,
They
okay,
think
I see a lot of,
quantity. Yeah.
yeah,
And
like,
it's quality.
and what does that mean? What does that transform to, right? Because if I get a bunch of likes, great. But what I know about you, me, the women that I work with, we know that we create impact from people coming into our space, coming into our program. So you just liking my thing is great. it's a step in the right direction, but I want you to self-identify. And that's one thing. And basically the process that Portia's talking about, I actually call that client intimacy messaging method. And so that is getting into the psychographics, like she was saying. What are you feeling? What are you thinking? Not just the surface level. So we have a whole process where we kind of go through that and build your message and map with it. But the reason why is because what I love to do is I love messaging to pre-qualify and pre-sell, right? So that like you said, and I always say, all my clients, like Kira said, don't be pushing people, invite them. I'm not pushing you into come into my program, into my service to pay me. I'm inviting you. I'm letting you know, I'm letting you become aware of what it is I offer. And then one thing we do in the intensives is always go through really fine tuning your framework, and not just what is my framework, because you know that deep in your heart, whether you got it on paper or not, you have it within you. We pull it out on paper, but being able to really create the transformational language, right? That demonstrates and highlights and showcases, here's the process I'm going to take you through so that your client can instantly see that possibility, that solution for themselves, and they sell themselves into it without you having to push. And I always hear from women, like, you know, it just makes them feel so much more comfortable with selling, and actually see selling so different, see it so natural, see it like an invitation, see it like a beautiful, you know, invitation that we get to, you know, give our clients into a space if they are desiring and wanting support. And you never have to sell again if you literally are just, you know, incorporating that into your language. So I know you and I can sit and talk all day, literally. But what I want to ask you is, if there is a woman who's in this space of like, I think I want to tap into my next level message. I know I kind of do. I'm a little afraid. I'm not maybe trusting myself. Should I move forward with working with Kira on this? Any type of hesitation with messaging and or working with me, what would you say to that woman watching this?
Well, I think I would say, first and foremost, you know, we put a lot of emphasis, and I say this as a branding expert. We put a lot of emphasis on the visuals, you know, what things look like. But, you know, you can have all the looks, all like, but there has to be something deeper that you're tapping into to really connect and, you know, really reach those clients on a deeper level. Like, if you want to do, first of all, we're doing purpose work. Purpose work is deeper than, you know, what it looks like, you know, but what does it feel like? You know what I'm saying? So I think working with you, especially if someone's on the fence about working with you, it's like, you got to realize that it's going to take, you know, something you've never done before. You know, it's going to take you to tap into something deeper than what you've been doing before to get to that next level and to get to working with those clients, you know, those clients that you truly, truly want to call in. So, I mean, it's easy to, you know, say, oh, I'll put it off and say, oh, I'll do this at another time. Or, oh, this isn't what I need. But you can have all the visuals, you can have all the content, all the everything. But if you're not really creating from a space of purpose and going deeper than what you've been going, it's not going to connect. It's not going to connect, and it's not going to convert. So, yeah.
So as I'm listening to you, what I would say to that woman, based off what you said, is maybe sitting down and asking yourself, am I connected to what I'm putting out? Am I aligned to what I'm saying? If the answer is no, that's how you know already. And then what I also heard you talk about was like, you might need to do something different. And so that could look a little different for many of us, right? You might feel like what I'm saying is there, but maybe my energy, my belief in it is not there. Like, I'm saying this thing, but I feel like an imposter. Should I be saying this thing? Right. So there could be some message and mindset stuff. Did you want to say something?
Yeah.
That
I was just going to say, that's the beauty of what you do, because you marry the mindset, you marry the sales, the messaging, and, you know, all of it together. It's a complete and total transformative experience of what you put it out into the world, whether that is the actual physical products and services, or if that's the words and the messaging that you put behind those products and services.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
She said it. That's what I was getting ready to go. Is I have a term called mindset to monetize, and that's actually the membership program too. And we just did this month, our topic has been taking up space. And taking up space is so important when it comes to messaging, because a lot of times So basically, let me step back. When you look at messaging, messaging is a mindset and messaging is a skill set, right? So when I'm doing an intensive with someone, they're like, here, I just want the messaging strategy. So just skill set. What am I saying? How am I articulating my transformation? All that. And then there's some women who are like, boo boo, before we talk about what you're saying, we got to talk about why you're not saying what you already know that you want to say, or
Right.
what you're already saying, why you're still saying it if it doesn't feel aligned, or what else are you wanting to put out into the world. There's so many different barriers there, but being able to kind of tap into, is this a messaging mindset issue or is this a messaging skill set issue? And for many women, it could be both, right? Which is why we have the mastermind, or if somebody wants to do like an intensive one-on-one coaching, or if it's like, here, I just need the words. I just need the words on a deeper level. Then that's, the intensive. So different levels of support based off of what really is holding you back from stepping into your next level
Right.
message. So I appreciate you, my love, especially while you're on vacay, or vacay, I should say, taking a couple minutes to chat with me. I'm so, so excited. Porsche is an amazing branding expert. So definitely it means even more hearing her, kind of speak on this experience. And if you have questions somewhere around this video, I'm sure there's a button where you can DM us or email us as well. And we'll be able to support you. And until next time, love, shine, and success. Bye, y'all.